Okay, call me Aristotle. I think he predicted the future. I don't know, maybe it was Nostradamus. Or maybe my favorite predictor of the future, Brick Tamlin from the movie Anchorman. I'm going to predict the future today. All right, so I'm going to be giving you my opinion on where I think the North Georgia real estate market is going to go. Obviously, if I had a crystal ball, I wouldn't be shooting these videos because I'd be sitting up on a beach somewhere sipping a Mai Tai or something like that. Hey everybody, my name is Tim Gibson and my channel is all about North Georgia real estate. Please subscribe if you haven't already and stay in touch. And if you're thinking about moving to the area or if you're considering listing your home in North Georgia, please reach out. My contact info is on the screen right here. Without further ado, let's talk about where we think the market in North Georgia is going to go. So I selected, just for reference, I selected 3 different counties in North Georgia. Obviously I can't give you every single county in North Georgia. We're just going to pull some stats from those and we're going to extrapolate and see what we think the market's going to do. I remember taking economics 101 in college. And yeah, you might be surprised. I was homeschooled, but I did go to college. It was homeschool college. So, it was online, but still, I did take econ. Okay. So one of the most important factors in terms of any market would be what? Supply and demand. Yep. And so we're going to talk about supply and demand. What does the inventory look like? How has it increased or decreased over the past year? All right, so back during 2020, if you remember with me, it was such a wild year, and it was also a wild year in the housing market. Home inventory decreased to levels that were historically low across the board, and that's across the U.S. and even in North Georgia. And so, as we all saw back in 2020, all the way up through 2022 and even into 23, we saw housing prices shoot up drastically. So just in the past, year or so, I'm shooting this video in 2024, and the housing inventory levels have started to increase a bit. So we are going to check to see if that trend is going to kind of keep going into 2025 or, what do we think is going to happen? So also, this is being shot in December of 2024. We did have a presidential election, which does have some effect on the housing inventory. And we've got a new administration, which is kind of an old administration, regardless of your feelings or political leanings. We do have President Trump back in office. Some people think that is going to be a massive positive for the housing market, and others think it's going to be terrible. You tell me what you think in the comments. Yeah, I'm going to let you guys argue it out in the comments. I'm not going to give you an opinion one way or the other. It's just fact. One thing I do know is that the mortgage interest rates are very high when you consider how low they were back during COVID. During COVID, the mortgage interest rates were, historically low again. And that's sort of what drove the house prices up, because you could get a lot of house for not a lot of money and your monthly payment would be pretty low. Since then, mortgage interest rates have increased and they have been, as high as, mid 7s in places. You've seen 6.5%, 7.5%, something like that. That's pretty high, especially when considering how low they were a couple of years ago. Will they decrease? I don't know. But what I do know is that mortgage interest rates are not directly tied to what you hear about the Fed doing when they're reducing rates or increasing rates to combat inflation. So seeing as the mortgage rates aren't directly tied to the Fed rate, what do we think is going to happen with those? I don't know. It changes daily and it changes multiple times a day. I do think that the 7s is a little bit high. So I'm hoping, and obviously this isn't a prediction, but I'm hoping that the rates come down a little bit. And that'll give people a little bit more buying power. So let's talk a little bit about the market in North Georgia. And like I said, I picked a couple of counties that are pretty popular around here. We're going to give you some information on those and see what we think the market's going to do. Let's talk about Cherokee County. It's a popular county in North Georgia. Canton, Georgia is there, ball ground. There's a couple of great places to live. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cover the median sales price year over year from 2023 to 24. We're also going to talk about inventory of homes for sale. And then we're going to just say, hey, what do we think is going to happen here in 2025? So if you look closely with me at these numbers, in 2023, days on market was 27 days. It actually shot up about 22% in November of 2024. It's only a few days difference, but it has a 22% change. Median sales price went from $495 to $506. That's a 2% increase. Inventory of homes for sale. If you take a look at that, you went from 664 homes for sale 36% increase up to 900 homes for sale. And you also saw about a 36% increase in inventory. So what's interesting about this to me in regards to Cherokee County is that even though the inventory increased about 36%, the median sales price actually increased about 22%, which kind of goes contrary to supply and demand. What does that mean? I think that in Cherokee County, now I could be wrong, but I think in Cherokee County in the future, we're going to see inventory levels increase a little more, but I also think that that median sales price is going to keep creeping up a little bit. All right, next we are going to talk about Gilmer County. Gilmer County is more of a rural county. I would say Cherokee is a little bit more suburban. Gilmer County is where LJ is located, and I get a lot of calls about LJ, so let's talk about that. All right, so if you look at this chart with me, in November of 23, days on market to sale is about 51 days. And in November of 24, average days on market goes up to about 66. So that's about a 30% increase. So the median sales price is what we're going to look at next. You see a median sales price in 23 of about $425,000, and that shot up to $545,000 in November of 24, which is almost a 30% increase as well. Next, we're going to talk about inventory. Inventory went from 146 units on the market in November of 23 up to 221 units, which is a 51.4% increase. That's a lot of inventory increase there. So that equates to, about a 36% increase of inventory as far as month supply goes. So what's interesting about this information is kind of similar to what we just saw in Cherokee County. Even though the inventory increased about 50% year over year in Gilmer County, the median sales price increased 28.2%. As Gilmer County becomes more of a popular place for people to want to live, then I'm thinking maybe these sales prices continue to increase in 2025. We'll see, of course, but hey, time will tell. All right, last but not least, we're going to talk about Pickens County. Pickens County is home to Jasper, Georgia, which is becoming a more popular place. I'm getting some more calls about Jasper, Georgia. It's also where Big Canoe is located. That's a very popular destination, a place to live. Also, there's another great community in Pickens County called Bent Tree that I get a lot of calls about. So what's going on in Pickens County? What do we think is going to happen? Let's talk about some of the historical stats first. First, we've got days on market, and as you see in November of 23, 47 days on market on average there. And in November of 24, you see an increase to 56 days on market, which is a 19% increase. Next, we have median sales price. Median sales price back in November 23 was $432,000 roughly. And in November, this is the first decrease we've seen. The median sales price in Pickens County of 2024 is $400,000. So that's like a 7.2% decrease. Also, if we go to inventory of homes for sale, you go from 130 houses for sale right there in Pickens County in November of 23. Year over year, we go to November of 24. You got 205 houses for sale, 57, almost 58% increase, which looks like it basically equates to a 60% increase in month supply. The inventory increased about 58%, and so the house prices came down about 7%. So what I do know about Pickens is that there's a lot of new construction going on, a lot of new houses going in, and a lot of people are moving to the area. I think this is going to be interesting. This is going to be hard for me to make a prediction on this one, but let's say that Pickens is going to be the outlier on this one, and maybe it's going to follow the traditional pattern of maybe the house prices are going to come down a little bit as more homes are being built and more inventory is increasing across the board in Pickens County. We will see what happens. Maybe we'll do a recap video in the end of 2025 to see if all these predictions came true. And if they did, I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket. All right, so what did you think about that video? What did you think about those predictions? Tell me if your predictions are a little different, and maybe you want some predictions for any other counties. Let me know. I'd be happy to help. All right, so real quick, before I log off for the day, I just wanted to say this is the last video I'll be shooting in 2024. And I wanted to just say a big thank you to all of you who have reached out, asked for some help regarding real estate in North Georgia. I've helped clients relocate from all over the country. I've got people that have called in from California, Oregon, Colorado, New York, Florida, all over the place, and it really means a lot that you would reach out. I even have some people who have reached out from Costa Rica, out of the country. So pretty wild that you would, opt to use me as your real estate agent of choice in North Georgia, and I won't forget it. Hope you have an awesome holiday season and a fantastic new year in 2025. We'll see you in January.